Thank you. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you, Mark. Thank you, AWS. I want to say a few things about Deutsche Börse Group. Deutsche Börse is, as many of you know, a software business that builds software and infrastructure and provides that to many financial organizations, including banks, etc., across the world. Some of the things we build are stock market venues, but we also do quite a lot of asset management and things as such. So I would say two things for you to take home. One, if there was a Formula One of exchanges, Deutsche Börse would be right up there in a pole position. We do about 150 million contracts a month. That's deals. Then if it were in a bank, we would be also pretty big because we manage about 11 trillion euros of assets and whatnot. So it's an exciting company, and by the way, we're hiring. And why we're hiring is we've gone through quite a big transition in the last 2 years. We've taken a company, where do we start? The transition that we went through was moving from a company that had, I think the best way to describe it is 3 very distinct silos of 1, operation, 2, we had obviously a business and people that were in the business and created many specifications for the products. And then we had a so-called IT department that took the specifications and did stuff with them and gave it to operations. Well, that was 2015. At the end of the year, we decided this was not really producing something that management wanted, which is innovation. You can think of innovation as being features or whatever, new products, but it was just too slow. And we looked at the available options, and we decided to do the following. We changed, first of all, our organization. This is extremely important. You need an organization when you implement cloud, and AWS, I think, is very prominent in this space in terms of it being an example. You implement cloud, you have to have a product organization that goes from end to end, and you need less project managers and more product managers. And the product manager does then, he integrates the business ideas, the software development, the DevOps, and of course the operations part of that is very important. So we even gave out beepers to the people because now, guess what? You have a product, you're in charge. So what I want to say there is that, you know, AWS helped us train 700 people in our company inside of a year. The company has a lot of experience in transitioning to cloud. Thank you, AWS. They helped us a lot. I certainly advise you to work and build on their experience. Why did we do a lot of the changes we did? We needed to be faster, but we also needed to scale globally, and we needed to develop more resilience in the software. So development, software deployment, a lot of security, DevOps, we just heard about that. That's extremely important for us, but just the DevOps process itself, giving developers the ability to use a massive amount of resources themselves and test out new ideas, be it in big data or just serverless computing. These were things that a couple years ago we couldn't do. Now we're using that every day in our business to make bigger and better software. Bigger and better means you need to have the infrastructure. I don't know what data center you have or how big your business is, but believe me, AWS is bigger, it's faster, and you can scale on it, and that's what we use to run a lot of our applications. Doing this and giving people more accountability and responsibility along the way means things will break. And when they break, you have to get good at doing something you probably are not automatically good at. A lot of people look at uptime. But what's important, we learned, is what happens when a system goes down, bringing it up again is actually the real task. So how fast, how good are you at resilient systems? That's something that will require you to look at a lot of the technology that AWS built for itself to build highly scalable, global, resilient software. Also here, maybe a lesson learned, AWS understands architecture, they understand cloud software development, work with them, and by the way, just copy what they do. It's very easy to look at a great example and copy it. The last thing I want to focus on is security, compliance, and regulation. Obviously, we just heard, look, I don't know if your business is, selling cosmetics or building cars. AWS has a tremendous security knowledge, infrastructure, people in the mix, and we were able to really tap into that. We improved our security massively by moving it to the cloud. We get a lot more transparency. Obviously, transparency is what you need when you're talking about compliance. We get a lot more data. We can meter things. We have tons of APIs. We can look at all the log information, and we can be a much better and more compliant organization by having the cloud. The last thing is regulation, and I want to make sure everyone understands regulation is highly important to protect all of us in terms of our consumer well-being, but it's also there to protect the business parties involved. And Germany is, I would say, a challenging environment for regulation because it's a topic that's very serious. So we've been really lucky to work with AWS in this area and also with the German regulators, the Luxembourg, the Singaporean, the American. And all around the world, I think what's happening is that regulators and their regulated entities are going and talking to AWS and other cloud providers and trying to figure out how to make it a much better, secure, and compliant world for all of us. And again, I think here, whatever your business is, what we found is that AWS will embrace it. They will go the last mile to help you work within the framework of your business, in our case, regulation. And we've even developed a very big community now with AWS and with the regulator here in Germany and with a number of our partners. That's more or less our story. It's boiled down. You can find a version of this on S3 and also on GitHub. So thank you very much. Mark, I learned a lot today.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So I'm curious, cloud migration, cloud journey is not just about technology, it's a lot also about people and people and processes. What has been the impact on your staff, on your teams in terms of the impact of cloud?
First of all, I would like to thank everyone at Deutsche Börse that's been involved in this, and we have some great people, especially our software developers, our innovators. They've been able to unleash all of the creativity they had pent up on AWS, and we were very, very fortunate to move those people quickly because they just have a much better working experience. The other thing, though, that's probably as important is that the people that aren't coding every day, that run things, that operate things, they get a much better view on how their world is working because they get better information, and it's just a tremendous feeling to be real-time connected with our business when it's in the cloud.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.